Hi, welcome to my channel. So in last part we work on this landing page and today we will create login page. So before going to coding, please subscribe my channel and like this video and also click the bell icon so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. So let's get started. So first let's go to the class main page and then we will give the display none. And now let's open the browser. So everything is gone now. Now let's work on the login page. So go to index file and comment out at the end of the main page. End of main page. And now in here give login page and comment out, and also give end of login page and comment out these two. So now let's give a section tag and give a class login dash page, and now give a nav tag and give a class login dash page dash nav, and then give an ul tag, and inside that give an li tag and give a class brand, and then in between li tag give an anchor tag and then give an I tag and then give a class fas fadope. After I tag give home and then again give li tag and now give an anchor tag and in between give about. You can also copy this and paste it here one more time and in between give anchor tag and give language English. Now give debug class login and inside that give another div and now give a class login dash content and after that give h2 tag and type here login to Twitter and then after give form tag and now clear this action and we don't need it right now. So now give a class of login dash from, sorry for that, this will be inside the class not outside the class. Now give here an input tag, give type text and now give a placeholder and type here phone, email or username and now give another input and this will be for password. So for that give the type password and also give the placeholder password and now save it. So I have done a mistake somewhere. Okay, come back to code So here is the problem. This will be inside the class, not outside the class. Now copy this and paste here. So now let's check that. Alright, so here is the icon. Let me zoom it so you can see. Okay, now come back to code. So now after the input, give a div tag, and inside that give a button tag, and now give the type button, and give a class login dash from dash btn, and here type login. Now after that give a input tag, and the type will be checkbox, and give a class login dash form checkbox dash checkbox, and now also give a id check, and now give a level tag, and in for type check, and then type remember me, and then give anchor tag, and inside that type forgot password. And now after the end of class login content, give a footer tag, and give a class of login dash footer, and now inside the footer tag give a p tag, and here type new to Twitter, and then give an anchor tag, and inside that type sign up now. Now again give a p tag, and type here already using Twitter via text message, and then give an anchor tag, inside that type here activate your account. Now save it. So our HTML part is complete now. Let's style the login page. So for that go to code and go to style.css file. So first let's give a login page comment so we can easily find later on. Now we will style the class login dash page. So for that we will change the width of the class 100%, and then we will change the height 100 vh, and also change the display to grid, and then give grid template columns and change to min max 5 rem, comma 1 fraction, and after the fraction, after the bracket give 2 fraction min max 5 rem 1 fraction, and now also change the grid template rows to repeat 2 comma min content 1 fraction unit. and then give grid row gap 1.5 rem. Alright, so that's it about the grid layout. It's time to take care of the alignment of each part. So let's start from navigation. So for that, select the login page nav class, and now let's change the grid column to 1 minus 1, and also change the grid row to 1 2, and also change the background color to hash triple F, and then change the padding to 2.5 rem, top and bottom, and left and right 0. Now save it. So now that's it about the navigation. Let's move on and align the second part. So now let's select the login class, and I want to take up this second column and the second row. So for that we have to define grid column as 2 by 3, row as 2 3, grid row as 2 3, and background color to as FFF, and also change the width to 100 rem. Alright, so we have to define the layout of the entire page, and also we have to align the navigation and login. So next we select the navigation eval element. So for that select the class login page nav eval. So now change the style of width to 100 rem, and then change the margin to auto, and then change the display to flex, and also give list style to none. So now let's give some margin to it. So for that, come back to code and select the li tag login page nav li, and now give margin 0 top and bottom, and give left and right 1 rem. So now let's give some hover effect. So come back to code, and after the li tag select the class login page nav li sudo hover. For that give margin left auto, and now let's increase the font size. For that select the class login page nav anchor tag. So now let's change the font size to 1.6 rem, 1.6 rem, and change the text decoration to none, and also give a color to hash triple five. Now save it. Okay, so color has been changed, but I have done again a mistake, so let's change that. So come back to code. Sorry, this will be not hover, this will be last child. So now save it. Alright, so now let's change the icon color. So for that come back to code, and for that select the class login page nav I, and change the color to hash 1 AA 1F5. and also change the font size to 2 rem. Alright, now okay, so let's give some space between the icon and the home. So now come back to code and go to index file and just give here a little space. So now let's check it. Alright, now let's move to UL tag and give here in UL after display, give align items, flex end. So now we will give a hover effect. For that, let's select li with after pseudo element. So the first thing we will do is to give content, and let's give some space, and then I'm going to define width and height. So let's set width at 100%. As for the height, let assign it to 0.4 rem, and also change the background color to #1AA1F5 and give position absolute. So this way how they look for now. So we need to position then according to parent element, which in this case is li. So let's assign it to position relative, and now we have much better results, but still those lines not positioned in right way. I have to paste to down below at the edge of the navigation. So let's define the bottom and set property to minus 2.5 rem. As for the left position, value will be 0. Alright, so the lines are ready. Let's create the hover effect. By default, I'm going to hide them. So set opacity to 0. So now let's check it. So the lines are now hidden, and we have to display them once we hover over the item. So let's select the li with hover, and we need to select the element to display. In this case, we will use after pseudo elements. Let's give opacity to 1, and finally we are going to use transition, give opacity and duration 0.3 seconds. Okay, so when we hover over the lines should be displayed. So you see that fx is working fine, but beside that we have to change the color of items as well. So let's select the align elements with hover, then we need to select the anchor tag. So let's change the color to 1AA1F5, and also like the lines we need to here change the transition with color and duration 0.3 seconds. Alright, so everything looks fine and we are almost done with navigation. The only thing we need to is to give a little shadow effect at the bottom of the navigation. So let's assign it box shadow 0.7 rem, and for the color RGBA black color 000, opacity 0.3. So finally we are done with the navigation. Now we will style the login. So now come back to code So the first thing we need to do is to give display grid and then change the grid template columns. 10 rem, 8 fraction, and grid template rows, 2 fraction unit and 1 fractional unit. Alright, now we will select the class login content and change the grid column to 2 minus 1 and then give grid row to 1, 1 and 2. So now let's select the login footer and then change the grid column to 1 and 1 minus 1 and then change the grid row to 2 and minus 1 and then change the background color to ED F3 F7 and also change the padding left to 10 rem. Okay, that's it for the footer and its position now, and that's it about the alignment. Now we will change the padding of the login content. So come back to code. So give here padding. On top give 5 rem and 0 for the right side and then 1 rem for the bottom and 0 for the left. Okay, now let's move on. Come back to code. And now let's style the heading elements. For that we are going to increase its font size. For that select login content h2 and change the font size to 2.4 rem. And also change the margin bottom to 3 rem. So that's it about the heading. Next I'm going to move on and style the form. So now select the class. Now select the class login from and change the display to flex and also change the flex direction to column and now select the form input and change the width to 30 rem and height to 3.5 rem. So as you see the input elements with it is decreased and also the checkbox. So for that we will use a pseudo class called not. By using this selector we can exclude the checkbox for the styles. So we have to write not and inside the parenthesis we have to specify which input element we need to exclude. In this we will input the class name login from checkbox and then change the margin bottom to 1 rem and also change the border to 0.1 rem. Solid DDD and then change the border radius to 0.5 rem. After that, change the padding left to 1 rem and also change the font size to 1.5 rem. Okay, so the last thing we need to change the input background color. So come back to code and so for that select the class and give pseudo class called focus and now change the background color to background color D9EB F7 and then input change the transition to background color and give duration to 0 0.3 seconds. Alright, so when we focus, see the color changes. Now the input elements are done. Now we will style the div with 4 elements. So let's style it. So now let's select the class login from div and change the margin top to 2 rem. Okay, next we will style the button. So for that, select the button class. Dot login from button and change the padding to 1 rem, top and bottom, and left and right 0 0.5 rem. And also change the background color to 1AA1F5 and then change the color to #FFF. Also border radius will be 4 rem and then give the border to 0 0.1 rem, 0 0.1 rem solid 1AA1F5 and also change the font size to 1.5 rem and now give a font weight bold. Okay, so last thing we need to do is to create some space in the right side of the button. So give margin right 1 rem and also give cursor to pointer. Alright, so that's it about the button. Now it's looking fine. Now I'm going to style the label, the text remember me. So for that select the class and then select the label. So now change the font size to 1.6 rem and also give the font weight to 300. And now let's change the margin right to 1 rem. And now let's select the anchor tag, the link. For that select the class and give anchor tag A and change the text decoration to none. Okay, so now let's increase the font size of the link. So come back to code. So here give font size 1.6 rem and also change the color to 1AA1F5. Alright, that's it about the login content. We have finished working on it. Now we will style the footer. It already has a grid property here. Also, now the next thing I will like to do is to change the padding left to 100 pixel and change the display flex and also change the flex direction to column. Next, I'm going to change the content of the center vertically. So in general, we use align items center. So in here, we will use justify content center. And finally, create some space for that. Give margin top 2 rem. And also, we like to style the footer p tag. Now let's select the class footer p and now increase the font size to 1.6 rem and also change the font weight to 300 and give some space margin 0.5 top and bottom and 0 left and right. So now let's select the link element. So for that, come back to code. Now let's select the class footer link element anchor tag and give text decoration to none and change the color to 1AA1F5. Okay, that's it about the footer. Now we need some border box. For that, go to login class and give box shadow 0.5 rem and give the color RGBA 0.3. So now save it. So now we are done with the login page and the login page is looking good. So now please subscribe the channel, and if you like the video, please like it and turn your notification on for upcoming parts of this project. Thank you.